on the phone, you bird brain.
What do you do, backflips? You jump up there in a silly suit? What do?
You go BAM! I want you to play that.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is 3 o'clock and time to rock. Fast Freddie in for another episode of Fast Freddie Rocks Youngstown, coming to you live and direct from the heart of downtown Youngstown, right here at the Youngstown studio. So we are ready to get something going here this afternoon. Where this show heads, your guess is going to be as good as mine. Let me put it to you that way. Let me get everything ready here, and let me make sure we got our watch party going and a couple of other things, and then I'll get to you guys here in a minute. Yeah, you know, I'll get you. We'll get to you guys here in a minute. Here, I got stuff to do. But why didn't you get here? I don't know. But anyways,
are you celebrating the Browns with all the orange? By the way,
no. Actually, this here is from the Myrtle Beach Bike Week, the fall bike rally. But it was a good victory for the Browns this weekend, and them damn Steelers had a win too. You know, I don't know how they do it, but they sure do. And that game, it got pretty close there because it got pretty close at the end. It looked like Denver was going to score within like the last minute, and they were down by 5. And then the Steelers made that big sack key play on 4th and 1. And then Connor ran the ball like 70 yards on the next play from scrimmage, and that just put the game out of reach. And that was the end of that. So
I hate Steelers fans. I hate to say that, but I really hate them.
Steelers 2-0, Browns 1-1. So we'll see. Yeah. You know, I mean, I was pretty happy about the way things went. You know, of course, I don't like to see the Steelers win, but when they lose, I'm happy. When they win, you know, I'm always rooting for the other team anyways. But I'll tell you one thing I did notice. I had the game on the radio, and you could really notice the difference with without the crowd noise, especially when they made that big stop. You know, if they would have did that on, you know, if there was a crowd there, you know, the place would have been going berserk. And I thought that was really missing, especially since I was listening to it on the radio. I was on my motorcycle, and I had that tuned in. And that's the first thing that really struck me. It's like, man, if them guys made that big of a play and there was, you know, a full house at Heinz Field, the place would have went berserk. And it was really noticeable. It was just kind of flat. And you're like, man, okay, it's amazing on how the audience really does add something to sporting events. It really does. With the baseball, I think.
But think how fired up you'd be if you do something great and the audience gets, or the people in the stands get behind you. That got to be the best feeling in the world.
Absolutely. And I think the players have to be missing that. You know, because that got to
jumping up in the stands.
Yeah, 50,000 people just cheering, and you're like, man, you just made that big stop, and everybody's high-fiving and everything. So, that's the way that goes so far. Well, a few people tuning in here already this morning or this afternoon. We got Marlo tuning in, and Danny is tuning in, Dave Morgan, my good friend Faye Somo, all the way back from grade school. Me and Faye go all the way back to grade school. Let's see here. Barb is tuning in here this afternoon. Hi, Barb. Turtle in the house this afternoon. My buddy Big Rich from right next door is tuning in here today. So, I don't know where this show is going. I'll be straightforward with you. I mean, to me, it feels like a Monday. I know it's Tuesday, but I guess since this is like the first productive thing that I've done all week, it kind of feels like a Monday to me.
You feel like you're slacking off until right now.
Right, yes. I didn't get things rolling until, you know, looking at the clock and going, oh man, 2:15, and where are we going to go with this? But I do have a beer here, the Samuel Adams Chocolate Bock. I really like this beer. It's a good beer, Samuel Adams Chocolate Bock.
Now we got some space in the fridge. We can add to our arsenal of, delicate, perfecting beers.
Well, I think we got to find a sponsor, and I got a couple of places in mind that could sponsor the libation of the day.
Wide open.
Whether it's some kind of spirits, whether it is some kind of beer, something different, and every week we'll try it out and we'll share it with our guests. Unfortunately, our guests haven't really been boozing, other than Viking Jim. Everybody comes in.
But he brings his own. He doesn't even shop from the.
Yeah, Vike was plastered when he got here. But yeah, he helped out. What were you drinking with Vike? Oh, the vodka gimlets. Yes. Vodka gimlets. He got, Viking Jim of all people that would drink any kind of swill that you would find anywhere. Yeah, let's have a vodka gimlet. Okay. What the hell's a vodka gimlet, Vike? Well, we need cocktail glasses. Where he got cocktail glasses from, I don't even know. He had to steal them from somewhere.
He's got to. There's some restaurant without their cocktail glasses.
Viking Jim drinking a gimlet out of a cocktail glass.
I'd really like to do like a sampling of beers that I've not, that are kind of exotic, that kind of thing.
We should probably do that because I do like the craft beer. I'm not like a yuppie craft beer snob or anything, but like the chocolate bock and the stouts and that kind of stuff, I like it. And there's some of these craft beers, but I'll tell you what, man, you drink 2 or 3 of them and you got a buzz.
Heck yeah.
Especially some of those more high-powered ones. You have a couple of those and you're like, phew.
I like those really dark filling beers too, where you can eat for a meal kind of a thing. Those are awesome.
Oh, like this.
Oh. So yeah, maybe we should open it up to maybe even some home brewers to see if they can sample their, their best stuff from their basement. No.
Johnny Lordy says Steeler Nation in the house.
Oh no.
Yeah, these guys. I'm glad football's back. I'm not one of these people. I'm not protesting. And that was the nice thing about the Browns game. I felt good that they all stood up and did the national anthem and got that, okay, arm in arm, and we did the national anthem so nobody could piss and moan because I just want to watch some football. That's all I want to do. I don't want the political aspect to it or anything. Can't on Sunday, I just sit there and watch football and hope the Browns win and hope the Steelers lose and watch some good plays and lay on the couch for a little bit or, well, like Sunday, I was out on the bike, so I was listening on the radio. And can't we just do that? It's Sunday afternoon. Can't we just kick back, especially when the weather starts getting colder? Everybody's going to be in the house. You want to chill. Okay, football, drink some beers, and have a good time. So hopefully we'll get back to that here.
Hey, do you gamble on any games? Do you ever bet or do FanDuel or any of those?
Unfortunately not.
No.
No. I'm really not a big gambler. I hate to lose. I hate to lose money. When I lose money, I really feel bad. Yeah, I really feel bad. I'm just like, oh, I can't believe even it's like $50, $75, $100. And I'll sit there and go, damn, I could have bought this or that.
Well, I did FanDuel this last week for the Browns game. And so it costs like $3. You enter a tournament, you stack your whole team up. And I came in 4,000th place and I won $6. Look at that for the win.
Oh, well, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think I could. Oh, that's Joni. I'm sorry, Joni. Never mind.
Jenny. How much did you drink?
Oh, Jenny. Okay. You know what? My glasses are okay. There we go. I got them straight here. Yeah, I had to adjust these glasses a little bit. Okay, now I can see.
Now he's good.
Yeah. No, you know what? Maybe.
So anyway, not a big investment, and they'd be a great sponsor to have for this show too. A nice sports sponsor.
Yeah, FanDuel, and then all these places now you can bet on games down at Mountaineer Rivers Casino. I guess you could do like football pools. Isn't it something though when you look at weed and gambling? Once the government figured out that they could make money on weed and they could make money on gambling, oh, now it's okay. Even when you watch these sports, when you watch these sporting events, you watch it and you see all these gambling commercials on there. And you're sitting there going, they wouldn't let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. And now like they're promoting bet on our sport.
And even worse, there's a dude in jail right now that was running a sports book and smoking weed in jail. And he's like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. No, think about when the mob was running all the sports book and all the gambling and all the people that got shot and lost their lives and people that got their kneecaps busted, all this stuff. But as soon as the government figures it out,
it's okay.
Oh, wow. Same with weed. How many people may have gotten kicked out of college or lost a career because maybe they were selling a little bit of weed? Maybe you're growing some weed in college and you get kicked out. Now they're teaching you how to do it. You can take classes to learn how to do it. The world is going insane. The world is upside down.
Oh yeah, Jenny said you're cut off. So officially, last beer for you, man.
Oh, that's only my first one. I only had like 3 sips. I'm not that big of a lightweight. But I can remember the first time I hit a football pool. I was about 5 years old. And
you hit like a win? You won?
Oh yeah. I hit I was like 5 years old, and my cousin handed me a football pool and a pen. And I just marked them all off. Next thing you know, on Monday, I had a huge bag full of money. I remember we used to eat Popeye puffed wheat cereal, and it came in a big plastic bag. It wasn't even in a box. And I had that full of money. And that was the first time I ever won. Man. 5 years old, gambling. You know, gambling is the national pastime in Youngstown.
It is, too.
You know, I might not be a gambler, but I know people in Youngstown love to gamble. Yeah. Youngstown's
I got in trouble in 8th grade for running a football pool, and I did it during college. So I made a ton of money. I paid out a ton of money, and I'm a little enterpriser in 8th grade.
Oh, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. You better be careful.
Well, the math is that the people running the polls make more money than the people winning on the polls. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I did that wrong, but I didn't really want Joey Naples or Lenny Strollo or one of those guys come and put one between the eyes. I figured, I better let these guys do it. And the bug, the bug used to be a big thing in Youngstown too. The bug, it was like the lotto before the lotto, and all the bookies would take your numbers, and you could play it for anything from like a penny and all these, every other little bar and every little shop down by the mill and every little corner grocery store. They would all take your number. They were all little bookie joints going. And that's why the Vindicator used to put the Dow Jones stock closing numbers on the front page of the paper, because the last 3 numbers was what they called the bug. So the lottery number for the day was determined by those last 3 numbers on the Dow Jones averages. So that's why it was always right on the front page of the paper.
Interesting. That's cool.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think they took some of the fun away from it. I think it was a little bit more fun when it was illegal. Now anybody could do it. You could do it on your phone. Yeah. You could do it anywhere you want. So it's just not like it was in the old days. But Youngstown's a gambling city. People in Youngstown just love to gamble. Yep. I remember all those little illegal gambling places they used to have down in Camel. Like, what was the one? The Greek Coffee House was one. And I mean, these guys had like little casinos set up in there.
Every church has it during their festival, right?
Everybody loves that. But I mean, some of these things that the mob had going on, it was big. And that's another thing that, you're from Youngstown from back in the day if you either know what bar boot is, or it's a dice game. It's a crazy dice game, but bar boot used to be one of the big dice games that these guys used to play in all these little back rooms and stuff. And I mean, I knew what that was like, I was 5 years old and I knew what bar boot was, because they'd always be like, oh, we're going down this bar boot game, or this guy, they got a bar boot game going down there. So your old school Youngstown if you know what bar boot is. And it's even hard to find online. You could find the instructions or whatever, but the whole thing about bar boot is few and far between if you look it up. Maybe now it might be, but there was a time there because I just wanted to look it up to see. But that used to be a big dice game in Youngstown. Bar boot. Everybody's they got a bar boot game going down in Camel, and here's another way you're from Youngstown. If you actually went to school with somebody whose dad either made a living A, shooting pool, or B, playing cards. Where's your dad work? He plays cards.
That is an occupation.
And then you never really questioned it. It was like, oh, okay, Youngstown people play cards for a living. All right.
How are you at pool?
Terrible.
Are you bad?
You would think I would be pretty good, but I'm terrible. Yeah, not really. I should be a lot better than I am. A lot of my buddies play pool. I like pool, but I'm like, I could do a lot better. So maybe I don't play that much because the people I know are really good, and I just don't even want to mess around or even slow them down. Maybe if like me and my son went out to a bowling alley somewhere and nobody was looking, I'd get on the table.
Yeah.
But other than that. You know you're from Youngstown when you say camel. You got that right, Ron. I found myself one day saying Campbell. And I was like, wait a minute. Where are you from? Yeah, he ain't from around here, that's for sure. Yeah, you're not from Campbell? Yeah, I had a nice motorcycle ride this weekend. Got out and got in the wind a little bit because time is definitely running out, man. We're like we probably got like one more month of weather. Usually right around Halloween, the bottom falls out. But where'd I go this weekend? Oh, I know. We went down to, we took a nice ride down 170 all the way down to the Ohio River. And then we went down through Midland, Pennsylvania. And on the other side of Midland, when you go past the power plants, they have a little place down there called Luann's, little roadhouse. They got some good food, and we usually stop there. And then from there, we went back over, up 168, back past the power plants. Then we went down past Burgettstown to Avila, Pennsylvania, which is also another little ex-coal mining town like Burgettstown. And, you go down past Star Lake, out 18, and there's a place down there called the Bullpen. And it's like in the middle of nowhere, but it's a great restaurant. It's like rustic. It looks like a log cabin, and they got a huge patio, and they got a couple of outdoor pavilions and an outdoor bar, and they had a band and everything. That place was hopping too, so got that in. But a lot of these rides, you got to get back because, 7 o'clock now, it's starting to get dark and it's starting to get really cold.
Yeah, how low does it get before you're like, I'm not riding anymore? What's your threshold?
Probably consistent 40s.
Okay.
Consistent 40s. But you know what's crazy? It gets 60 degrees and you're shivering. I noticed this the other day. It's 60 degrees and you're kind of like, oh man, a little chilly out here. And then you're looking, it's like 60 degrees now. In spring, when it first hits 60 degrees, you're like, yeah, motorcycle weather is here. Let's go riding,
so
baby.
True.
Oh, we've been waiting for this.
Yeah, true.
Give me a tank top. Let's go. Sleeveless shirt.
Yeah.
And now you're like, man, it's sure a little chilly out here.
Yeah, or when you go down to Florida and it was freezing up here and you get down there and do the same thing and everybody down there is in parkas.
Yeah, it's like, yay, we're here. But it's amazing on how motorcycle riding in March, it hits 60 degrees, 55. You're like, oh, it's time to go, man. It's time to go. We're ready to rock. But, there are people that ride. There's some people out there that are diehard and they'll ride all year round. And I'm like somewhere in the middle. I'm not a pussy, but I'm not necessarily, here I go, man. Got to get out there. But it's just so much fun. I'll tell you, I had a good summer riding this year. And I'm not done. We still got to do this. We're going to film this. I want to do this run on this run that Neil Peart from Rush did, and he writes about it in his book. In his book Ghost Rider, he was talking. He was first he started out riding bicycles, and the first time he rode 100 miles on his bicycle was 4th of July, 1984, when the band was playing at Richfield Coliseum. And Neil decided to ride his bicycle 50 miles down Route 94 from the Richfield Coliseum, 303 to Hinckley, and then 94, 50 miles, and 50 miles back. And his motto was 100 miles before breakfast. I could probably ride my bicycle 6 miles. 7 miles. And I'm thinking, yes. And I'm thinking, this guy's doing 100 miles before breakfast.
That's craziness.
But anyways, he really liked the scenery on this route, because once you get past like Wadsworth, it's all windy country roads and it's all Amish people. Although they're a little different Amish down there. They wear like more brightly colored clothes, and like they pull some things with a lawn tractor, and I think they're a little looser than the diehard old school Amish. So anyways, Neil Peart did this bicycle ride when they played at the Coliseum back in 1984. And then when his wife and his daughter both passed away, he bought a motorcycle to try to, what you call wind therapy. He's going out there for wind therapy and just riding and leaving his cares and troubles in the wind. Well, he got so addicted to this that he put on all kinds of crazy miles. And he was just riding his motorcycle, rode all the way around, all around the world, rode completely around the world. through South America, through Siberia, all these crazy places, and he did it on a motorcycle. He rode a BMW, a red BMW, and so every time he would come back passing through this area, he'd always make a run down this Route 94 and Beach City, and what else is down there? Winesburg, Mount Eaton, all these little towns, and he would go riding through there all the time. So before this is all said and done, we're going to film us going down there and following this route, because I think it's really cool. So we got to get that in within the next week or so, because we're just running out of time. Right. Plus, it takes a little while to get out there, and then you do the route, and then if we're going to stop and points of interest along the way. So we'll see what happens. But I got to tell you, man, I did have a good summer riding. Good. I went to all the usual spots, like the usual spots around here. Have you ever been to the winery over in Foxburg? No. Out on Route 208. It's on heading into the Alleghenies. Okay. Kinzua Dam's another good one up in around, where's that? Kane, and I think Warren, Pennsylvania, or Girard, Pennsylvania, whatever it is, way up there, right on the New York line. Cougar Bob's over in Tionesta on Route 666. It's this old schoolhouse that it's pretty much like a hunting lodge. So we went there. Oh, where were some of the other places? Geneva a million times, Erie, Conneaut Lake. I should put a little tour guide together of all these places.
Document it out.
Yeah.
And then we can follow the Freddie path one day, right?
Right. Well, we have our one buddy, Vince, man. He's like our road captain. This guy's like a human almanac. He knows every little spot. We just follow Vince, and we went up to Fairport Harbor. They got that place up there called Sunset Point. And that's the only place on Lake Erie, at least that I know of in Ohio, where you can dine out on a pier that goes out onto the lake, which is really nice. Neat. And that's another fun spot. Geneva a million times, but just to go. Grand River Manor up by Geneva. So all over the place. But that bullpen was a nice place. And I think a lot of people will be heading over to Foxburg for the wineries, because it's right at it's on the other side of Grove City. And with the leaves changing, I think a lot of people want to take a nice little ride over there, because it's right on the Allegheny River, and you get a chance to check that out.
Yeah, if you've never done that, that's so cool to see that. Nature's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. I do like riding in the fall, because the weather's cooler and the bikes ride so much better, and the leaves are changing. But then after that, it's just like, there it goes. Yep. So we'll still do some riding, but we definitely got a film here within the next week. Yeah, I've been doing some test runs, and I'm just working out the bugs on all the equipment. Like this Saturday or Sunday, I went out mainly to test the GoPro. Well, I hit the wrong setting on the GoPro, and all I got was bursts of pictures at certain intervals. Okay. So, but there was nothing there. I don't know, something was not right, but I didn't get the video, and it was such a nice day, and we took this nice route, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this might not even be a test. This might be something we'll just post and talk about. But I don't know what happened there with the GoPro. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, but we will be doing that little run for Neil Peart, and I'm trying to work it into some kind of a benefit or whatever, because when he passed away, they wanted people to do some stuff to raise money for cancer research or awareness or whatever. But with the COVID, this whole year was really shot. But I'll tell you, the motorcycling events went really good this year. A lot of people were out riding, and there was no place really to go. That's all you had to do. And some of these places, Sturgis, we know what happened out there, but there's been a few other ones. They said they did one in Gettysburg, but they canceled it, but the people still showed up. They had a bigger year when they didn't have any bands or anything than when the
cheaper one to pull off, right?
Same with Geneva. They did their bike thing a couple weekends ago. The place was just crazy packed. Yep. Ocean City had one this weekend, and they said, well, it's canceled, but everybody had reservations and stuff from last year, and they were like, well, we can't give you your money back. Right. So they're like, well, I guess we're going to have to go. Here we come. So I'm not sure if they're going to do Biketoberfest, though, in Daytona this year. Yeah. Maybe nothing official, but maybe it'll be just like this other stuff. Yeah, I think that's how you get bikers to come out to events. I finally figured it out. I have finally figured it out after all these years.
Yep.
Just tell them they can't show up.
Yep.
You can't come to bike night tonight. Yeah, we're coming.
Screw
We're going to
you.
be there, huh? Yeah. What do you mean we can't come to bike night? We're going to be there.
Now, when you guys ride, are you mic'd up where you can talk to everybody? Is it hand signals, or how do you, how do you get a long
you
trip?
just follow until you.
Oh, come on. We got to mic you up so you can talk.
Well, I have my bike has where you could plug in and have a headset with other people or whatever, and it has a CB breaker 19. Breaker. You know. No, everybody just follows the group and away you go.
Okay.
And then when you make your stop, you sit there and chit chat for a little while. All right, let's get to some. Let me see here. Why don't we get to?
You are rich with content over there.
I got so much here. Butcher's checking in. If he ever gets out there, we're drinking Beam and PBR. Oh, okay. Pam, my good friend Pam Miller, Winter Warrior ride. Now that's cold. Yeah. The Harley shop in Warren, they do that every year where it's called the Winter Warrior. And if you ride out during the winter time, like between January and February, you get a t-shirt and then you're in for the drawing to win, something cool, big gift card or something along those lines. People like that. Now, a lot of people also, when it comes to the Winter Warrior, some people are Winter Warriors, but other people might wait for that 145-degree day or that 50-degree day. And I'm a Winter Warrior.
Put an asterisk next to that one.
Yeah, I think they might have to start doing that. But that's always fun.
I got good hunting clothes. I could probably put on a heated hunting suit and pull that off pretty easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. You put on a leather jacket and I bundle up. Oh, yeah. Pamela Miller also want to know about, did you kiss the moose at Cougar Bob's? They have a moose head out there, a giant moose head, and that's like the tradition when you go out there to kiss the moose.
Okay, brings good luck.
Yeah, so we had all kind of crazy stuff going on out there, but it's a cool place to go. Buddy Dave Childers is checking in. They're going up to Sandusky this weekend too. They have a bike thing going up at Sandusky. They canceled their big bike rally at the beginning of the year. They usually do it like Memorial Day weekend, beginning of June, and they canceled that earlier this year because I guess things were really still hot. Right. But they're doing like a little scaled down 3 or 4 day thing this weekend. Unfortunately for me, no motorcycle riding this weekend because I am going to be fishing at a bass event for the United Way this weekend over at Evans Lake. So 2-day event. So that's going to be pretty fun when you get a chance to fish in there because it's a closed lake and there's a lot of fish in there. So me and my son are going out there.
Feels meanderish,
It does. It's a little bit, but nothing's even close to meander.
Yeah.
Nothing's even close to meander. But me and we went out fishing on Shenango I'm not allowed to say where we go because he gets
giving your spots up,
don't let him know
and everything.
And we went out there and we got a couple, but the weather was a little bit off, but I think this weekend it's going to be on fire because the temperatures have cooled down, but the weather's going to be steady here coming in. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Okay. Oh yeah. Shay McKelvey says, I still love it that you call it Star Lake. It'll always be Star Lake to me. They could call it the First Gazette Pavilion, Post Gazette Pavilion, Coca-Cola, this, that, PPG, Post Gazette, First Niagara. This thing has had 20 names since it started. To me, it's still Star Lake.
Star Lake.
And I don't know why any of these other places, why they just don't call it Star Lake. The Post Gazette Pavilion at Star Lake, because everybody, that's what they know it as.
That's exactly
it's Star Lake. It's Star Lake. It always will be.
Yep.
It's like I never made the transition from, Jacobs Field to Progressive Field.
I'm same with you. I still call it the Jake.
It's still the Jake to me. It'll always be the Jake.
And even the Quicken Loans Arena, that's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's gone. But sometimes I kind of got on the Q though a little bit. I'm still go with the Q every once in a while because it's so easy. Okay, the Q. So that's what. Okay, yeah, my buddy JT is tuned in. I'm glad I'm drinking this Sam Adams chocolate box, something fancy, because You know, JT, he's from the Burger Guys, which I hope they get that back up because we could definitely do some cool stuff with them. They would go out and it wasn't like trying to critique and put the place down. It was like, okay, let's see what we like about this place. You know, they were showcasing good burgers around town. And I remember the one day, for some reason, we were out doing something, you know, and everybody's ordering these craft beers to go along with their hamburgers, you know, because they got these fancy burgers and all kinds of different ingredients and different toppings. And I ordered, for some crazy reason, a Reds. I said, I'll have a Reds. JT wanted to choke me. He goes, do you know what Reds is? That's the Zima of the 2000s.
I never even heard of it. What is it?
Reds Apple Ale.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Reds Apple Ale.
Reds, okay, got it.
And it's kind of like the, you know,
soft
drink-ish type, you know, one step up from a White Claw, I would imagine.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, at least I didn't order a White Claw. Well, they didn't have it back then, but they would have never let me down. Queen Bitch is checking in. Hey, Pam, if you're going out, stop by the Ice House tonight. We got bike night going on. I don't know how many more of those we're going to do here. Scott Gearhart is checking in. They got that new song out from Broken Reigns. You know what we should see? We should throw that on there for them. Yeah, look up Broken Reigns and see if they got their new song on. You know, they were here. You know, Scott and Wayne from the band were here not too long ago. Yeah, we could give them a little plug. Yeah, Broken Reigns band. There we go.
You know, what's the title?
Let's see. What is the new one? It would okay, back the 2-day week or something. A 2-week holiday. 2-week holiday. We had these guys in the studio not too long ago, and they're a great country rock band from here in the Youngstown area. They're called Broken Reigns, and this is their brand new song. So we might as well give them a plug while we're doing it. And I can drink a beer.
Alabama to Miami Beach, FLA. Hear the boat motors roar, hear the waves hit the shore as the ocean waves are low to me. The glistening waters, white sand and wonders, our life is better with a tan. The coolness of the breeze, your warmth surrounds me as we walk the beach hand in hand. Just me and you. Gazing across the bay. Just me and you. Just me and you. On a 2-week holiday. We're ready to boat and sail across the water in a little town near Tampa Bay. Found a little piece of land, sunbathed in the sand till the sunlight starts to fade away. All the glistening waters, white sand and wonders. Our life is better with a tan. The coolness of the breeze, your warmth surrounds me as we walk the beach hand in hand. Just me and you. Just me and you. Gazing across the bay. Just me and you. Just me and you. On a 2-week holiday. Palm trees sway in the summer night. Underneath the deep blue sky, flowers bloom at night in the breeze. Behind the veil of the sky where we sleep, where we sleep. Not a care today. I'm on a 2-week holiday. Not a care today. I'm on a 2-week care today. I'm on a 2-week holiday. Not a care today. I'm on a 2-week holiday. Not a care today. I'm on a 2-week holiday. Not a care today.
Broken Reigns 2-week holiday, and we had those guys on about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Good bunch of guys, good band. So that's their latest song, and I thought I'd share it with you because they thought they were coming by, and we wanted to do that, or they were here. Am I making sense?
I think so. I got you.
Okay. All right. I just got to make sure every once in a while you're here to bounce me back into play. Hey, here's a funny story. Did you see this one? This one's been floating around here for a little bit. A monkey stole some guy's cell phone, and the monkey started taking selfies with the cell phone. Even monkeys want to be on like Facebook or Instagram, TikTok. I wonder if this is TikTok. Trump might ban this if this is TikTok, but this is pretty wild. This monkey grabs this guy's phone, starts messing with it, and the guy looks at his phone. He had all these crazy selfies here.
Give a monkey a cell phone, and this is what ends up on the camera roll. A man says this is what he found on his phone after he recovered the device from a monkey that got into his home. The primate somehow recorded video, which shows its attempts to eat the phone, but it also got in some great selfies. The phone's human owner from Malaysia says he had a great laugh at the surprise footage. It's not the first known selfie taken by a monkey, though. This picture, taken by a smiling monkey on a photographer's phone, became the subject of a strange copyright lawsuit filed by PETA on behalf of the animal. The animal rights group lost that lawsuit and any rights to the photo. As smartphones become more user-friendly, we can hope to see more selfies from any animal that's able to get its hands, paws, or hooves on a device with a camera.
Wait a minute. Did I hear that right?
You heard that right.
That PETA filed a lawsuit on behalf of the animal because that was his video and he should get any money that's made off of it?
Yes. Yes.
You know what? I'm all for everybody treating animals right and love your pets, and they're the greatest thing in the world. But when you get to that,
you've gone too far.
Yeah, you're way over. So PETA filed a lawsuit on behalf of the monkey to get the royalties because he took the video and it was his image.
Yep. Hey, you remember that elephant that used to paint pictures and they used to sell the pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sort of like that. He owned the artistic rights to those pieces. So anyway.
Oh, that's something there. Yeah, I remember that elephant. That's pretty wild. They had him at the zoo. Or something.
Right.
Yeah. Then
it's just not fair. We're exploiting the creativity of animals. PETA has to defend them.
Oh, that's crazy. What else? I see a couple of those. What else do we have here? You know what? I got to get on my Facebook page here, but I can't. I don't want to bail out of the watch party because then the watch party will go away. I had a bunch of stories on there. Let me see if I can remember. Well, one up in.
I'll try to bring them up over here if you want to just guide me.
Okay. One was the guy. I think I got them all. I think the police arrested a guy in Louisiana, and he had a gun stuck up his ass. They gave him a strip search, and the guy had a gun stuck up his ass. Now, or some people call that the prison pocket. Somebody, the prison purse. He had it stashed away in his prison purse. I'd be afraid to do that. What if you went to Taco Bell and you farted and you blew out your colon?
Oh, dumb criminals. Dumb.
And then there was another one. This wasn't a stupid criminal, but this is one of those things that make you go, what the hell are you talking about here? Up in Vermont, a guy was working in a grocery store and he saw a woman get mugged in the parking lot. Somebody snatched her purse. Well, he left the grocery store and went out and caught the guy. He was an ex-Marine, and he went out and caught the guy, got the purse back, and the guy got arrested. And the grocery store fired the guy for not following company policy.
So
you're not allowed to get involved in that kind of stuff. We might be involved in a lawsuit, so you're fired.
Man, that sucks.
You see, where's common sense? You see somebody out in the parking lot, and I know another one, another story. Like I say, I don't want to get out of the, the watch party, but how about the lady that was high on meth, and she took off from the cops because she said she had to poop her pants? See if you got that one on there. I think that might even been on channel 27. I don't know. But it was about this woman was taken off from the cops. And, okay, yeah, there we go. Here's one. Please let me poop, Mr. Officer. Here's the raw video. This is the raw video of the chase and the arrest. She's crying. She has to go. Look. Oh, I got to go so bad.
Real customers are experiencing a real difference with Spectrum Internet and TV.
The speed is insane.
You figure we got to get the ad in there.
TV,
That's all right. We'll get to here in a second. Only a couple more seconds. We give Spectrum a freebie.
Ads just drive me crazy. All right, Spectrum, you got a free ad. Okay.
Your license is suspended?
Why?
I don't know.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay.
When?
I don't know. But since I had to run your license since you don't have it with you, came back suspended, and now I'm waiting to see if you have warrants through Woods County and.
Poop so bad.
Where do you think I was going?
Hey, man.
Huh?
It says my fucking birthday.
Well, listen to me, okay? Calm down. If they don't end up extraditing you for the warrants, I'm just gonna cite and release you. You just need to call you a ride.
Are you serious? Nobody's gonna come get me right now. I have to poop. Will you just let me go?
Because I know your license is suspended.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was. I won't drive no more, but can I please go home and go poop?
You know, you probably would have got your letter from the state.
I'm Officer Ryan. I guess he's told you what's going on. If I can get you to step out of the vehicle for me.
Are you gonna arrest me?
You're under arrest, yep.
Are you kidding me? Why?
You have warrants for Woods County, they're coming to get you.
No, they're not.
Ma'am.
Fuck you guys.
Get out of the vehicle now! Step out now!
Hey, you should turn on
Step out of the car now!
Mike's on.
Charges.
Oh, they're on?
Yep.
To
Okay.
county charges.
Okay, so there was a short police chase.
You could have already been on your way to jail.
She's still crying.
Get in the car.
So there she goes. She
You know,
just didn't want to poop her
somebody's
pants.
played that card though before. Like, sure you do. Like, you know, I've never heard that excuse before.
Right, right. And especially you have meth in your car and
Suspended driver's license.
and a warrant for your arrest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think I'd have stomach problems too.
Right.
I'd have to poop too.
Yep. Scared the poop out of you.
But if she really wanted to get even, she could just shit
go.
her pants right in
Yes,
the car.
right.
Yeah, okay. Hey, I told you guys.
That's
there
it.
you are. Okay, who's going to strip search me down at the jail?
Yep.
Who's going to clean out the car? All you had to do was let me go, huh? You think I was fooling with you? Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Right.
You thought I was full of shit? Well, guess what? You're right. Here we are. Bam. So what do? They take the car back down to the jail, and what, a trustee or somebody that has to
Poor guy.
somebody, either the rookie or somebody that's doing jail time, or one of them guys that got to go wash the police cars to pay off their fine or something's down there like, oh man.
Well, the way those are built, I'm sure people have puked and all kind of stuff back in those things. So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure they probably just have like the no frills back seat,
metal,
and so when that happens, they probably just have a pressure washer and they
That's
just
it.
blast it, and away they go. But that's got to put a damper. If you're a cop, that's got to put a damper on your day. If somebody takes a dump in the back of your cruiser,
That's true.
pukes, that's got to be tough.
Yep.
But she told him, I told you guys not to do that, but you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. What other stories did I have here? Oh, here's another stupid criminal in the news. This one happened down in Georgia. A guy got pulled over by the cops, and he ran away from the traffic stop. Well, he left a $100 winning lotto ticket sitting on the seat.
Bingo.
And they told him, hey, we got it for you. If you would like to come down and get it, we have it here. Now, that would be the real stupid criminal, the guy that goes back to...
Yeah.
See, that would be my luck. I would win the $100 and run away, and there you go.
Missed the opportunity.
Yeah, but some of these people, a couple other things.
My favorites are when they get ripped off for a drug deal, and then they tell on themselves like, he ripped me off $100 in cocaine, and it's like, how do you think that was going to go?
Or with a hooker.
Yeah,
people do it with a hooker. Hey, I was down here on Market Street, and she said she was going to do this and that and the other thing, and I gave her $50 and she took off. I want you to find her. Yep. People do that.
Oh, yeah. No
how about Jerry Springer when he was the mayor of Cincinnati, and he paid a hooker $50 or something and wrote her a personal check?
Stupid. Stupid.
He should be a guest on his own show for that one.
Yep.
That's always been a thing I wanted to do. I always wanted to be on the Jerry Springer show. And I met Jerry. Me and Vike met him over at the Royal Oaks. And I even interviewed Jerry at one time when he was going to run for the governor of Ohio. And actually, he wasn't that bad of a guy. He had some pretty good ideas, and he seemed like he was in tune to what was going on, especially for the working man, maybe because of all the guests that he's had on his show. He's rubbing elbows with the normal everyday person,
and he has some star power too, where he had connections. Yeah.
And then he had a radio show going for a little while, and I even sent him a couple of letters like, hey Jerry, listen, why don't you get with me? And I really thought I could have helped him take his show to the next level with different creative things, but I never heard back from him. So then I tried to get on the Jerry Springer show. I know a lot of people have been on the Jerry Springer show.
How'd you do it? What was the process like?
Well, here's what happened. First I'll go through some of the people that I knew that were on the Jerry Springer show. My one buddy Wingnut, he was like one of the first people I knew that was on the Jerry Springer show. He was on there. I think he was either dressed up in a teddy bear costume or he was humping a teddy bear on Jerry Springer or whatever. And then we used to have this midget that worked with us, Little Larry. And Little Larry was always on Jerry Springer. And anytime they needed a midget, he was usually on there. And we would have Jerry Springer watch parties when he would be on over at the Ice House. And one of the funniest things that they had with midgets was the Midget Clan. And so the Midget Clan, not only did they hate blacks and everything, they also hated tall people. They were really against tall people. Okay, the Midget Clan was really against tall people, and they were like burning stuff and everything. And so then they had, it turns out that the Grand Wizard of the Midget Clan turned his back on everybody and married a full-size black woman. And that caused a big midget rumble on the Jerry Springer show. And of course, our Little Larry was involved in that. And anytime they would have one like, I Got a Secret, and the woman would be, screwing a midget, and out he would come. That was always good. I'm sorry, I have to break up with you. You're just not doing it. And I found somebody that's way more of a man than you'll ever be. And he knows how to please me, and he knows how to treat me right. I got to bring that son of a bitch out here. I'll kill him. And then out comes this midget.
Something tells me these storylines are fabricated, like they're not real.
And then they had another one on there. I think it was midgets or Playboy playmates that only get off with midgets or something, So Jerry really did run the midget thing.
So what the heck were you going to do on the Jerry Springer show? What role were you going to play?
Well, this was kind of crazy because I ran into this woman who sells what they call willy beads at motorcycle events. They sell beads for guys that throw at women when they flash their tits. Well, she was selling these little willy beads for women to give the guys if they pull down their pants.
All right.
Okay.
I'm following you.
So she was in charge of the willy beads and selling them and marketing them. And she thought, boy, if I could get on Jerry Springer, this would be a good way for me to market these beads. So I says, okay, why don't we tell them that I'm your boyfriend and I'm against you selling these willy beads, and it's either me or the Willie beads. You got to decide. And, Jerry had Jerry beads for people that would flash and hit those out there. So it was kind of a natural tie-in. Right. So then, we called Jerry Springer. They called back, and it was getting close, like, booking hotel rooms and shit. And they almost had this thing worked out. But then the show it took like some kind of a plot twist that they wanted to add on, and Viking Jim was going to be there dressed in a teddy bear suit or something.
It got a little crazy,
and it got too crazy for what she wanted to do.
Okay,
I mean, come on, we're already there. Okay, either you sell your you put aside your Willie beads or you keep me. Is it more important for you to go to motorcycle events and sell little beads to women to give the guys that flash their junk, or do you want to keep me as your old man? We thought that would have been good right there, but they started adding a lot of different things on it, and she just wasn't comfortable with it. And that was the one time. But they asked you, do you have all your teeth? And they asked you if you have all your tattoos. And I still feel bad that I got turned down for the Jerry Springer show.
You weren't good enough for Jerry Springer.
I could never get on the Jerry Springer show. It's almost like the cover of the Rolling Stone. I should write a parody song about that.
Yeah, you couldn't check that off of the list.
Yeah. On the couch of the Springer show, there's a song in there. I might have to work on that. But then I had another friend of mine. She was on there, and her son was on like 2 or 3 times. When they pick you up, they treat you like a movie star. I mean, no, even if you're in a trailer park or something, they come in with a big limo and pick you up and take you to the airport. And then when you get to Chicago, I mean, they like to ply you with booze. They like you to dump them down. They want everybody good and liquored up. And when you go there, you get this hotel room service, everything. But the minute the show's over, you're done. It's just like, okay, Fantasy World's over. There's your ticket. Get back to Alliance or wherever you're going by yourself. But this woman, Granny, her son was on there twice. There was a lot of people on from Alliance, and I think it was the Town Tavern where we had the watch party, and so Granny was there and her son was there, and there were some other people that were there from Alliance that were on the Jerry Springer show. So one guy comes up, he's like wearing these coveralls. He goes, "Yeah, remember me? I was the chicken man on Jerry Springer."
like that's on his business card. He is proud.
He was the chicken man for Jerry Springer. So Granny, this like the second time her son gets on there in a bad relationship. So Granny wants to get on there, and Granny wants to get on there to tell the girl not to mess with her son because he's a player. And so Granny goes on there, and the next thing you know, she's flashing her tits and getting her Jerry beads, and we're all watching this in this bar, and everybody's going nuts. And then I think the guy that was on there, her son ended up getting in some kind of crazy problems with the police, like a police chase or something. And so
many careers were made out of the Jerry show.
Jerry.
Who was the big dude with the bald head? Steve, yes.
He's got his own show now.
Does he?
Because Jerry's just Judge Jerry now. Okay. He does like a Judge Judy show. And Steve still does like the paternity test or, and since he's a big guy, he's not afraid of a lot of those people. So he gets in their faces and stuff. But the Springer show, I used to love it. And that was one of my goals in life. Another failed goal in my life that I couldn't even get on the Jerry Springer show.
Just for $5 a day, you could support this Jerry Springer dropout. That was my Sally Struthers impression.
All I wanted was my old lady to get some Jerry beads. I wanted to be there with a stripper. Or you
could have written such a better script than the beads. I'm telling you.
At least there were no transvestites involved or whatever. Those were always good ones. I got a secret to tell you. Now, when they promote the show that way, so what do? You tell somebody, "Hey, I got a secret, and it's going to involve you." Well, come on, tell me. No, I can't tell you.
That's why I know it's fake. There.
I can't tell you until we get to the Jerry Springer show.
Let's go.
It's like, what the hell? So, if somebody has a secret to tell you and they were going to tell it to you on the Jerry Springer show, don't go.
Don't.
It's not going to be good.
Now, with all the sensitivities in our culture, can they even do those shows anymore?
I really don't think so.
I don't
really think so. Because they'd have interracial couples on there.
Little people.
Yeah.
Transvestites. The whole thing. You couldn't do any of it.
And it was just like looking at them as probably more of a, I don't know, I don't want to say real life or whatever. But
right. Well, they set it up as sideshow type of things. And we just wouldn't tolerate that anymore. Nope.
Jerry.
I'll try to book him. I'm going to send him a letter to see if he'll come on this show and be here for you.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes,
that would
for
be
sure.
fun. And talk about some of his greatest moments.
Because he's from Cincinnati, right? So he's got local connections.
And he does all these shows out of Chicago.
Okay. I'll find him. I'll track him down.
It would be cool to get Jerry on and just to talk about some of his more bizarre shows and crazy shows.
Well, look at the camera and make an appeal to Jerry, and we will make sure that he sees this.
Jerry Springer, if you're watching this podcast, we really need you to come on the show. We want to huge fan. You never had a chance to be on your show. I'm still a little heartbroken about that. But if we could get you on this show, Jerry, it would be a great privilege, and I would really, really like it, Jerry. Maybe we'll bring Lisa Neal down and you could toss some Jerry beads to her or whatever it takes.
That was beautiful, man.
We'll get
you got me.
Well, I'll try to track down a midget. Our midget passed away, unfortunately. And Larry, he was a great guy. He was like one of those midgets that would do anything. But he was kind of stocky, But he was on Jerry Springer. He was with the WWE. He worked at all the haunted houses. We used to call him Chucky because he would dress up like Chucky. And he was like one of the first midgets out here in our area that would do midget tossing. And of course, that's shut down now.
Right. Yeah, when Lisa was telling the story about the mini-me guy being a dick, I was kind of surprised because I really like him. He was one of my favorite characters in Austin Powers. But
yeah, he had an attitude. Yeah, he really did. And what else would Chucky do? Oh, one of the craziest things we do, and this is something here that we could probably never, ever get away with now. We gave away a chocolate-covered midget for like Mother's Day. And we had like 3 or 4 places that we went for Mother's Day with the chocolate-covered midget. And we went to a couple of Delphi plants or whatever. Well, I think we went to Giannis Candy. So they had to melt some chocolate for us to get the chocolate-covered midget. Well, this was almost like a WKRP, I swear to God, turkeys can fly. So we get this big Tupperware, one of them big Tupperware containers, one of them storage bins. So we get this big storage bin and we put the midget in. Well, then we cover them with chocolate. Well, for the chocolate to be liquefied enough for you to dump it on a person.
It's got to be hot.
No kidding. And so we dump him in there. And he's just wearing a diaper and he's covered in chocolate, molten hot chocolate.
Oh my goodness.
And we took him to like 3 or 4 different places. And I remember we took him to the Delphi plant in Hubbard. It's still Packard to me, though. It's still Packard Electric, just like Star Lake. It's still Packard Electric to me. So we take him over to Packard in Hubbard. And of course, they bring out the guest of honor and the whole plant's there. And there's something in the box, right? Okay, we show up with this huge box with a ribbon on it, and it's Mother's Day, and we got a special gift for you. So
beware.
It's almost like, I'm going to Jerry Springer, and I got something to tell you, honey.
Yep, he's a troublemaker.
Can't tell you until we get there, till we're on the show. Well, can't you tell me what it is?
No.
You got a penis? Please don't tell me you got a penis, or I ain't going. So anyways, we got the box sitting there and the woman's like, kind of poking at it and she doesn't want to get too close to it. And she's looking and next thing you know, of course, the lid pops open and out jumps a chocolate covered midget.
With 3rd-degree burns.
Yes. Yes. So after the 3rd place, we say, okay, we're all done. And now all the chocolate is cooled off and it's stuck to him. And you just can't take it off. It's like peeling his skin off because the chocolate is just embedded on his skin.
Oh, poor guy.
So we take him over to the car wash and I power washed him. Believe me, you have never lived unless you power washed a chocolate covered midget.
Picture it, people. Power washing a chocolate covered midget. You'll never be able to say those words again in your lifetime.
I wish we had YouTube and all this stuff back in the day, because this stuff would have been national or international type pranks.
But the Karens would have brought you down at the time. There's no way Karens would allow that.
Yeah.
No way.
But yeah, we used to do a lot of stuff with him, man. Chucky the midget, little Larry the legend. He was on WWE he was like with Jerry Lawler. He was one of his guys. I think another funny thing is we had him in his wrestling gear, because he, Jerry the King Lawler, and so he wore like a robe and a crown and everything when he'd go out.
They had a pretty good wrestling for little people for a while there, right?
Oh yeah, we used to do. Well, he was in the WWE. I mean, he was in the big thing. But oh yeah, midgets with violence. We used to have them out. Midgets with attitude, and we used to have them at the Lube all the time. They would draw a huge crowd, and they were so much fun, man. And those guys, except it seemed like they had to do all the work, set up the ring and everything. But could you imagine that? And some of the midget wrestlers, they used to love to drink. And they used to have this one group that was, they were a little more risque, and they were like really big elkies. And they would do a match where they would staple dollar bills to each other and things like that. If you threw a dollar bill in the ring, they would staple them to their heads and stuff. And the one midget stapled a dollar bill to the other midget's nutsack. Now this one,
that's rough right there.
This one was in front of a lot of kids, though. Then these guys, they didn't have back, because they were just like X-rated, and the stuff that they were saying, and little kids are out there and they're, hey, who here wants a midget and things like that? And they're like, oh, putting their ears over the kids, and they're getting up and walking out, and the manager of the Lube is just sitting there like this. But what else? Oh, getting back to the other one with Chucky, Larry, whatever you want to call him. The one day, just out of the clear blue, because we had nothing to do, so Hubcap decides he wants to set the world record of pushing a midget the farthest distance in a shopping cart. So he started in Girard, and he pushed him all the way up to the Eastwood Mall. Dang. And every time he would slow down, the midget would hit him with a wiffle ball bat.
This was like Jackass before Jackass was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. You guys coined Jackass.
But it was funny. Wee Man. Now there's a midget too. Wee Man on Jackass. Yeah. He used to do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when they came to the Wedge in Austintown, they had Wee Man and Steve-O, and they showed up like 7 hours late, 6 hours late. The people wanted a riot, man. And then people start jumping up on the stage doing their own Jackass stuff, like busting bottles over their friends' heads and everything. So Wee Man and Steve-O show up at almost like 2 o'clock. The bar is going to close at 2:30. So it was like maybe 1:30-ish. And they get up there, and it was pretty much Wee Man punched Steve-O in the nuts, and Steve-O guzzled a bottle of Jack and puked on stage, and that was about it. There were some pissed off people there that day, especially because they opened the doors at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and everybody wanted to be up front, get good seats and everything. And these jackasses didn't show up until, very late.
How pissed off if you're the promoter of that thing?
He was, man. He was. And because everybody there was pissed. And then when they just start jumping on stage doing their own jackass tricks to get them ready. But yeah, that was, so anyways, sucks. I got any more midget stories? I don't think so.
No, I'm empty on that topic.
That's about it for the midget stories today, folks. If you have a midget story you'd like to share. Yeah, I don't know. Let me take another sip of beer.
Yeah, take it.
Alcohol always gives me ideas.
It does?
Oh, yeah.
Sounded good.
Oh, that's very tasty. I like that. Yeah, especially around 2 o'clock, 2:30. 2:30 in the morning and you're not really sure what you should do, have a couple of drinks. Let the alcohol figure it out for you.
Bad decisions. That's what comes down the pike. Bad decisions.
Let the alcohol figure it out for you. Let's see here. This is the 50th anniversary of Monday Night Football.
All right.
Been on since 1970. And the Cleveland Browns won the first game on Monday Night Football.
That's nice.
How about that? Yeah. Cleveland Browns won the first game on Monday Night Football.
Who was it against, do you know?
The New York Jets.
New York Jets.
Famous. Probably the most famous thing I would say on Monday Night Football is when Howard Cosell announced that John Lennon was shot. That was, I think that's one of those moments that everybody could remember watching that. But remember how big Monday Night Football was when it first come out? I mean, that was just the biggest thing going. Monday Night Football. You got to be kidding me. And I remember for years, all the bars used to be packed for Monday Night Football. Everybody wanted to watch that Monday Night Football game. It became a big thing. Now you got Monday, you got Thursday, you got
Saturdays
games
every once in a while.
Yeah, you got games from early on till late at night. Now I think, you got 2 games on Monday now?
Yep.
So you got 2 games on Monday. You got a game on Thursday. Or is there 2 games on Thursday?
I think it's one on Thursday.
One on Thursday. And then you got a full slate of football on Sunday. But Monday Night Football, that used to be a big thing. We would have parties all over the place, and it would be packed. You know, people have wing specials, and everybody would be out for Monday Night Football. Now
Didn't they do like an international game where a couple teams went over to England or something like that?
Yeah.
Did that ever happen?
Yeah, I think they did. They
toyed with that market for a game or two.
I'm surprised, though, that pro football doesn't have a bigger international audience. Like basketball has a big international audience. Baseball in some places has an international
South America,
audience.
heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. South America, Japan.
Yep.
I think Australia has some baseball. But it seems like basketball in Europe, people love it there. We get these big, Croatian guys and come out there. And so, but I'm surprised. But they love their soccer. They're like Viking Jim, man. They love that soccer.
You get into soccer? You watch it?
I ridicule Viking Jim every time I get a chance when he starts talking about soccer and Liverpool and blah, blah. It's like, you know what? Shut up. Nobody cares. That's usually when I see him post something, I go, nobody cares. I'll post hashtag nobody cares. But there are people out there that love it. Yeah, I don't care. Like what you want to like. It's
that's
like
right.
with music or anything else. If that's your thing, but with Vike, I got to bust his balls. Anybody else, I wouldn't take the time of day. Scroll by, means nothing to me. But when he posts it, I feel like I have to make some kind of comment. Like
any sport that's like really low scoring, even like hockey, it's tough to watch for me because it just seems like it drags on forever.
Yeah. Now, see, I love hockey.
Yeah,
I'm a huge hockey fan. I love hockey. I love the action. I love the quickness. And with hockey, it's in a smaller arena too. So you got to keep that in mind. It's not like these soccer fields or whatever. And the action's a lot faster.
Yep.
Those guys are flying down the ice on skates. Hockey, I would say, is probably the hardest sport to play because you have to play offense and defense. You have to skate forward and backwards. You're doing it on ice. You have to be quick. You have to be strong. You have to shoot that puck, pass that puck, use a stick. I think hockey is probably the toughest game out there to play, without a doubt. Now, the hardest thing to do in sports, they say, is hit a baseball, though. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. So,
and some of I couldn't imagine 100+ miles per hour fastball. I couldn't imagine it.
And you have to swing at it.
I know.
You got from the time it goes from that guy's hand, and you got to make that decision and put the bat right on that ball.
Yep.
It's amazing. That's a tough thing to do when you think about it.
Yep.
Yeah, they say that's the hardest thing to do in sports.
Yeah, because I can remember in high school, like they were only throwing 70 miles an hour, and that felt like they were afterburner by your face.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, you got the batting cage. And you're like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, let's see what else we got on the calendar here. Oh, this year was also last Friday. Friday was the 50th anniversary of the death of Jimi Hendrix. Boy, that guy was something else, though. He just revolutionized music, to this day. Of course, he learned from a lot of the blues players, but he took that blues and put some psychedelics in it and just took it to the next level. Jimi Hendrix, man, he was the man.
The legend.
And people still debate, is this guy better, that guy better? Well, I think Jimmy was the grandfather of the rock guitar.
For sure.
You know, of course, Chuck Berry did a lot of things and all them blues guys, and they all had their part, but Jimmy just took it to the next level. There's a lot of good guitar players out there. Some people, who this guy's better than this guy, that guy's better than that guy. I think a lot of it just comes down to certain things like their appearance, their showmanship, their tone. There's so many good guitar players out there.
But he like invented it. So there's something he said where it wasn't anything before him, and then he created a whole genre.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say he created it, but he took that stuff from all them blues guys and took all their tricks, and, you know, Guitar Shorty, that's his brother-in-law, taught him a lot, and guys like that. And, you know, he picked up a lot of stuff from all those guys, all the blues guys, but then he just took it to this psychedelic level that was never seen before.
Right.
And then Woodstock bust out, and then he showcases his talents there. I can only imagine what he would have been doing if he was still around. Although, you know what? I did talk to his brother-in-law, Guitar Shorty, one time, and I asked him that question, and he said that he thought that Jimmy would he would be doing a lot more recording and producing bands and stuff. He really loved doing that and getting in the studio and looking for new sounds and stuff. That was his thing. So
it's cool.
Yeah, but he was the king. And everybody that went to see him. That's one guy I wish I could see. You know, they always do that on Facebook. One guy you could bring back. Who would it be? I would want to see Jimi Hendrix. I would love to just see him and see what all this stuff was about. But Eric Clapton's good, and Joe Bonamassa's good, and Jimmy Page, and Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's so many great guitar players out there. How do you just choose one? Right. And everybody has something else that they bring to the table. But I guess maybe if you're a real musician and you split straws about it, but I like them all. And most of the time when you ask these guys who's the best guitarist or who do you think is really good, they don't look at it that way. They don't look at it like some of us would look at it and go, oh, that guy's the best. They just look at it like, well, everybody's good in some way. You know, everybody brings something to the table.
Do you play at all? You ever try to pick on one?
I'm learning.
Really?
I'm learning.
Oh, I'm trying to. I've been trying for years. What's the hardest thing about it for you?
For me right now, the strumming patterns.
Okay.
Strumming patterns and still my fingering a little bit. But I shouldn't even be talking about this. I've been keeping this secret here. This
all right. I'm out of the bag.
This was just something I was going to break out on some people here, you know. Well, my son plays guitar and he plays drums, and we're planning on having a little Christmas jam.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Because last year we had a good time. You know, he was just playing. We thought, oh man, it'd be a lot more fun if we get a couple more people. So I'm trying to learn a few songs here and there. I'll have to get Leanne Binder back down here and give me a few
she'll
lessons.
Hook us up.
Actually, whenever we get these musicians in, that's what we should do. They to be on the show, you got to give me a guitar lesson.
Yes.
I think we might have to
I'll bring my guitar
up
and put it on the stage, and that way if we have someone down here, they can help us strum.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. But that's to me seems to be the very hardest thing.
Are you trying to do acoustic, or are you trying to do
acoustic?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Take it camping and strum around the campfire kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yep. That's what I want to do, and I'm working on it.
I'm terrible. I've not been able to play anything worth listening to yet.
I'm to the point though where I'm getting something where I could almost like I'm playing something. Almost. Yeah. I didn't really want to let the cat out of the bag.
Look at me. I ruined everything. So I ruined your Christmas.
Well, no, I could have just said no. I could have just been no. Well, my family knows.
Yeah.
You know. Because it's almost like the reverse of, you know, the kids say, put that goddamn guitar down.
Pick that guitar up. You know? It's a lot of work. I'm telling you, I never realized just how many times you got to go through the same routine. It's so hard.
It is. You know, I think maybe that's why some of the really good musicians are kind of weird, because to commit yourself to a certain point, you got to just sit there in your room hour after hour and keep playing and keep playing.
Yeah.
And when they make it look so easy, you're sitting there going, that ain't easy.
Heck yeah.
That is really hard. I think that's why I really appreciate musical talent. I really appreciate musical talent. But think about some of them guys, that's probably all they did, hours on end every day. Their buddies are out playing football, they're out there doing this, and they're out there doing that, and these guys are just ding, 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 ding.
Make it look so easy. Now, do you ever take lessons from anyone?
No. No.
Don't do it. They make you feel so insecure. Like one dude just give me a lesson. He told me I needed to develop some calluses because I had girl hands. That's what he said during his lesson. Girl hands.
Yeah. I got a lot of guys that could really. I might go to that level once I get to this level past. Or you could always get the Keith Urban guitar lesson thing. He's got some easy ones on there.
Tabs, like those little.
Yeah, and then he got a CD for each song that they give you. I think 30 songs in 30 days. And one of the easy ones on there is Bad Moon Horizon. That's an easy song to play. But once you start learning those chords and you start looking at these things, you see a lot of these songs. There's a lot of songs out there that are 3 chords.
That's it.
And if you get, there's some songs out there that are 2 chords, like that song "Ooh La La" by the Faces. That's a 2-chord song. It's just getting the strumming down.
Exactly.
Bad Moon Rising. That's 3 chords.
Start with an easy one like. Dan, 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 dan. I can do that one all day.
Everybody. When that came out in 1972, that made everybody a guitar player. Everybody picked up, and that was just like, okay, yeah, we could do that, man. We got that going on. But yeah, it's a lot of fun though, and I think if you really do it, then you get used to it. Jimmy Buffett has some easy ones. I think Margaritaville's an easy one. Pirate Looks at 40's kind of an easy song. Cover to Rolling Stone, that's an easy one.
Did you ever hear those 4 chords, guys?
No.
Oh, so good. Let me play it. Let me play just a segment of it for you. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And just give me a minute to bring this up, but this will go exactly what you were just talking about.
Oh, is this like one of these guys that go through 12 songs?
Yeah, and they're all using the same.
Believe It by Journey and the cast of Glee. Yeah, there's a few more songs with the same chords. Check it out.
See, I took piano lessons.
Did you?
My life is
I never
brilliant.
did it.
My love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. People kill and people die and children
guys just play all
hurt and
these
hear
songs
them
with
cry.
With those 4 chords, yeah. Over and over and over and over again.
Turn the other cheek. Forever young. I wanna be forever young. I won't hesitate.
I can do these 4 chords. This is easy.
No more. It cannot wait. I'm your lipstick.
You just got to get the rhythm down.
Yeah, right.
The rhythm and the strumming, and then I think you could really take off.
Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't forget you if I could. Then I would.
Because it's just little variations. That's it. It's
Nobody wants to see us together, but it don't matter, no. 'Cause I got you.
Oh, take me home.
I belong. I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me.
See, that's the thing too. You got to learn how to sing it to fit it in to that beat.
Right,
You
right,
have to learn how to do that. It's not as easy as it seems.
No.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your wall.
That's wild. Yeah, that's one thing. I wish I had musical talent. If I had one thing, I wish I could sing. There's a few songs I could sing. I'll jump up with a band every once in a while. There's a few songs that I could do all
like
the way
heavy
through.
metal or rock. What's your voice?
I'll tell you, I do Give Me 3 Steps from Skinner real
Okay,
good.
I can see that.
I do Roadhouse Blues real good. Usually Gary Markowski, when he's playing out, he'll always bring me up and we'll do Roadhouse Blues. Those are 2 right there, right up top of my head that I know all the words and I could do that I'm not embarrassed of myself.
Do you ever get into that like stomp core, like the heavy screaming type of metal?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Right.
Like Disturbed and some of the bands,
Oh, I can't imagine how those guys sing at that pitch for that long without losing their voice.
See, that's one I always wanted to do that I could never get. It's at the beginning of Down with the Sickness with Disturbed, and they go somehow. I could never do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how do them guys do that? That's always one that I've always wanted. Even when I would play that on the radio and that song come on, I go, and, it's just amazing on how they do that. But yeah, man, some of them harder metal bands, it's I don't know how they sing like that.
Destroy your yeah,
you know?
right. Just for hours, just go and scream at the top of your lungs. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely a talent there. On 1973 this week, Jim Croce died in a plane crash in Louisiana. There's a guy that I like. Talk about a guy just with an acoustic guitar and a piano player, or a lot of times they just do, a show with him and another guitar player. And boy, he always struck me as just a cool guy. He's always wear that jean jacket. I love wearing jean jackets. And he had that big mustache, and he would just get out there, and he had so many songs. Bad, Bad Leroy Brown. I have to say I love you in a song. Working at the Car Wash Blues. He has so many great songs in just such a short career. And I really felt bad when he died. I was like in 10th grade, 11th grade. And that one was, I was like, man, I like Jim Croce. He just seemed to have that natural, easy going way about him. And Time in a Bottle. Have to Say I Love You in a Song. The one I like is a deep cut is Rapid Roy, the Stock Car Boy. And that's a funny one. He's talking about this guy. He's a race car driver, and I like that one. So there was a lot of good music there from Jim Croce, but he was like one of them guys I think that was really at the forefront of that acoustic kind of sound. Well, George Harrison too, he kind of got that stuff going.
And you said plane crash. You went down on a plane?
Yeah, in Louisiana. Pilot error. Guy had 14,000 hours flying. He took off in the fog. Plane didn't get up too high enough, and they hit a tree. And it was the only tree there. Wow. How about that?
That sounds a lot like that basketball player. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, with Kobe.
Yeah.
Geez. There's, a lot of plane crashes. Of course, Skinner, Buddy Holly, Otis Redding. Otis Redding was another one, man. He was just ready. Well, that guy from Montgomery Gentry, too, not too long ago. He was in a helicopter crash. Stevie Ray Vaughan, another one in a helicopter crash. Yep. Yeah, boy, I'll tell you.
And that's understandable for early on guys because they were touring the country and they were taking planes that were probably not commercial grade, right?
Yeah, right.
But now, our stuff's so sophisticated. I can't imagine them hitting a tree or going down in fog like that anymore.
Well, that's how they would travel. They're playing these little one-night stands in these little podunk towns, and there's a little airstrip up there, and you're getting a little plane, and we got to get down to the next one, and away they go. And I think it would have been a lot more dangerous back then. Boy, when you hear the stories about the guys that survived the Skinner plane crash, and they were all bloody and coming to these farmhouses and people pulling guns on them and stuff, not knowing what the hell was going on, and pretty crazy if you see some of these stories from the survivors. Bill Murray celebrating a birthday.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray. I like that dude.
Yeah, why don't we pull up a couple of trailers of Bill Murray movies? Let's see. Of course, right off the top of your head, you got to go with Groundhog's Day.
Right.
Very funny. Stripes is another one.
Caddyshack.
Oh man, how many movies does this guy have? Yeah, put trailer. Bill Murray trailer. Let's see what we got here. Caddyshack.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
On the Rocks, never saw that one.
No, me either.
Osmosis Jones.
No. Where the Buffalo Roam, about that. That's a good one. That's based on Hunter Thompson. Hunter Thompson, that guy was a maniac. Oh, was he crazy? Drugs and, man, you name it. That guy was just out there.
Scrooge.
What did he say? When the going gets rough, the weird turn pro. Was that his? Was that his?
Ghostbusters, of course.
Oh, Ghostbusters! How could you forget Ghostbusters? What other ones? Lost in Translation. Was that his movie? Scrooge. On the Rocks. I'll have to look up a few of these because mine were mainly Caddyshack. It's in the hole. It's in the hole.
Stripes and Caddyshack. Those were all classic. Though.
Yeah, when the girl was sitting there and he had the spatula or the she's sitting on the stove and he was hitting her with that. And then you get John Candy in the movie too. John Candy, no matter, you could put one scene. Here we go. These are the ranked Bill Murray movies from top to bottom.
54 right. Passion Play.
Okay, he's got 54 movies.
Dang.
Garfield and Two Kitties. He must have been the voice. Garfield, where the Buffalo roam. I like that one just because Hunter Thompson's so crazy. Hyde Park on the Hudson. Limits of Control. And this guy made a lot more movies than Space Jam. I remember Space Jam. Yeah. That was a kid's movie. Razor's Edge. Get Smart. They did a remake of Get Smart with Steve Carell. I'll have to check that out. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Ghostbusters, only 36 on the list. Oh, Ghostbusters 2. Right? My bad.
Oh, it'll be top 10 for sure.
Yeah. Osmosis Jones.
Hamlet. Wild Things. I don't remember him in Hamlet.
Coffee and Cigarettes. I don't know. Okay. Very Murray Christmas.
There's some stinkers on this list.
Yeah.
Freddie.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Wow. Meatballs.
Yeah,
that was a funny movie. Caddyshack 23. All right. Well, let's see here now.
Ghostbusters 22.
22. I don't buy that. Mad Dog.
Oh, that was the women's version, the remake.
Oh, okay.
The ladies. Yeah.
Oh, okay. St. Vincent. Never heard of it. The Royal Tenenbaums. That's a good one. Okay. Quick Change. What about Bob? Now, What About Bob
that
was a funny movie.
Yes.
I'll give What About Bob. Okay, now here we go. Top 15. Stripes. I would have had Stripes up a little higher because I never seen Broken Flowers.
Rushmore, no.
Never seen that. Zombieland, never seen that. Tootsie.
Okay.
Isle of Dogs. Little Shop of Horrors.
Grand Budapest. That was awful.
Number 8 on this list. I don't think Ed Wood. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Moonrise Kingdom.
This is the worst list ever.
Jungle Book at 4.
What? Lost in Translation. All right, that was all right. I don't know about 3 though.
At 3, Groundhog Day. At 2.
Okay, that's about right. And Ghostbusters
number 1. So
terrible list. Awful.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are about where I go. And Stripes.
Yep,
Give me those 4. Caddyshack, Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters, and Stripes, and that's my whole Bill Murray entourage there.
All right, well,
well, that was that was kind of a disheartening list,
right.
But that's what you know what I liked when Bill Murray used to be when he was the lounge singer on Saturday Night Live. Oh, that used to be so funny. Hello, and it'd be the cheesy lounge singer. I remember one time he was the lounge singer on a train. And he was doing his little thing, and he was singing to this guy who obviously the police were taking him to jail, and he was handcuffed. But Bill Murray what was his name? Nick the lounge singer. That was funny.
All those SNL skits were amazing. I mean, they were awesome. When Belushi and Eddie Murphy and Aykroyd and that was the heyday.
Yeah, Gilda Radner and I can't even think of him now. You know why I can't think so much anymore? Not that I was a very big thinker to begin with. Not that I could sing a lot anyways, but one of the things is with the smartphone. My phone is smarter than me. I'll even be sitting there. I don't even try to think anymore. If I'm sitting there with people, chit-chatting, and they'll say, hey, what was Bill Murray's name in that movie? Instead of me going, I just go...
That's right.
Oh yeah, it was Nick the.
How about with driving directions when you're on your bike? GPS does it for you, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't really use GPS that much. Maybe to check it, because there are some times when you go out on the bike, you just want to find some new roads. You'll get out there a little bit, and you're out there somewhere, and you go, geez, I wonder where this road goes. Well, let's find out. It's a lot of fun to discover new roads.
Do you see that? 2021, a new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. But sometimes it's just so hard to capture. Okay, here's some of his characters on Saturday Night Live. Oh, the Chicago Cubs fan. That was a good one. Oh, and of course, Mrs. Lubner. That was hilarious. Mrs. Lubner. Let's see. Who else?
Crap, he did a lot of skits on there.
Oh, man. like 70 some characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Saturday Night Live was really good. But you think about some of the other people that were on there too, like, Adam Sandler and
Kevin Nealon, he was good.
Yeah. And Chris Farley, of course.
The best.
There were just so many good people on there. Now, I don't know. I don't know if it's just run its course or...
I haven't watched it in years, honestly.
Eddie Murphy was funny when he was on there. Will Ferrell, Chris Farley.
Chevy Chase.
Mine was a little shaky. Dan Aykroyd, man. Now that's when you really had the golden age of Saturday Night Live with Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Gilda Radner. That was like really Chevy Chase, Jane, you bitch. But there were so many. How many catchphrases came off of that show? Oh.
I'm going to pump you up.
Yeah. Wild and crazy guys. Chris Farley with Matt Foley. I live out in a van by the river. And I like it. I guess Chris Farley was just a total wild man.
Yes.
The guy would just be completely berserk.
Yeah.
He was just completely nuts, man. Yep. He was just out there. David Spade, I thought he was pretty good on there.
Good dude. Yeah.
But there was, Tina Fey, some people liked her. That was like newer casts there. Wow, look at all the people that were on there. So many of those people you don't even remember now.
What's the chick who was like on for 2 episodes, dropped the F-bomb and got kicked off? Do you remember her?
Yeah, I would just have to look that up on my phone. Chris Elliott was on there for a couple of shows. Chris Elliott, he's another one of those guys that... He's another one of those guys that you put him in as a bit character and he'll make a TV show funny. I remember when he first came out, he was on this TV show, I think it was called Get a Life. It was one of the very first shows on Fox when they were coming out. And he was a paper boy it was really a good show. And I think he's in that Schitt's Creek, isn't he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's in that one. Which won all the Emmys the other night. Not that anybody cares about that.
No, I'm not a watcher of the Emmys.
Did you see their ratings are really down? Well, one of the reasons is, I just don't think people are into it anymore. Yeah, Jenny Slate. Well, I don't think people are into those award shows like they used to be. And now there's so many TV shows out there that you don't even know half of them. That Schitt's Creek, that won best show and everything. And I think they average less than 500,000 viewers. They average 500,000 viewers. Back in the day, the big TV shows, the classic TV that we would talk about before,
20 million vids.
Yeah, right. They had all these millions and millions of people watching. Now there are just so many shows that even if they nominate somebody on there, you don't even know what show they're on.
So last night I posted this on Facebook. I started digging a show, watching it. I got to season 2, right? And it ended abruptly, and there were no seasons after that. They left me freaking hanging. Now, how many shows get freaking canceled now, and they never let you finish?
Oh, right.
I need closure.
But that Schitt's Creek, that was actually pretty funny. And then they say like the Oscars and those kind of award shows are really in the shitter too, because a lot of people are just fed up with Hollywood.
Yeah.
And if you're a conservative, Hollywood pisses you off. You don't want to hear anything about Hollywood.
They all do is lecture anymore, just like we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
And another thing, I think it's got so political that some of the movies that win aren't the movies that people normally watch. A big blockbuster film that everybody might love might not even get nominated because some other film was artsy or had this political message or whatever, and it wins like picture of the year, or they got actor of the year, and the average Joe is sitting there going,
what?
Yeah. I thought I read somewhere where they're thinking about adding, though, to the Oscars, like a blockbuster category, box office blockbuster, because a lot of times blockbusters don't necessarily make it. Maybe it's a Bruce Willis
like
action
DiCaprio.
film.
Like he waited forever to win one of these things, and he was in like 50 blockbusters. It's crazy.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden they put you in this artsy fartsy thing or this politically correct thing, and then you win. And I don't really watch those award shows, but it really doesn't bother me. that LeBron James has an opinion with politics. It doesn't matter to me if these movie stars have an opinion. I don't care. I'll still watch Robert De Niro. I know a lot of people that are against Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and some of those guys. Watch the movies and go along with it. If you don't like what they say, big deal. Does that make his movie any worse? Nope. Does that make The Godfather or whatever less than a classic? Goodfellas, all these great movies. Does it make it anything less?
It does not.
Because I don't like the guy. I don't like his politics. Keep your mouth shut. But then it seems to me, I think there's a certain amount of hypocrisy because these people, well, these Hollywood people, they got to keep their mouth shut, or these rock stars, they got to keep their mouth shut and play their guitar. Well, they're citizens just like everybody. You're giving your opinion, so why can't they give theirs? Exactly. What if all of a sudden, because I'm LeBron James, I can't comment on politics? If I'm Bruce Springsteen, I can't have an opinion? And these people are calling up with their opinions, flooding talk radio and everything every day and hammering their opinions out there. So what makes you different than just because this guy's from Hollywood? Well, he got a bigger platform. Well, what? Are you afraid? Are you afraid he's going to say something and that maybe he's going to sway you away? Is he going to take people away from your side? I don't get that.
This got in your craw. You've mentioned this a couple times.
That is a pet peeve of mine. It really is. It's America. Everybody can have whatever opinion they want, and they can stand on their soapbox and pound their fist as much as they want. That's right. Just because it's Robert De Niro, who cares? Just because it's LeBron James, who cares? And it seems like the people that really pound their opinion out the most are the people that are against this the most. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Not at all.
And sometimes when some conservatives get on this, like about movie stars and, well, let's face it. And I don't want to get too political here because it's neither here nor there, but you got to admit, Trump was a reality TV star. Say what you want. He was a reality TV star. Ronald Reagan was an actor. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was an actor. He was the governor of California. There's a lot of people out there. And if you look back in history, people like John Wayne, John Wayne was a diehard Republican. And back in his day, he would be out giving speeches and stuff for people like Eisenhower or whatever. It's always been there. It's always been there. Musicians have always had their point of view. People that write songs, they write songs from what they're feeling and what they're thinking. So how do they alienate that or just turn it off because you don't like their view?
Right. Well, I think the best art and music comes under duress, where people are pissed off and they write the best lyrics and stuff like that,
Right. So I just don't get that. And not to be political, it's just like on both sides. Sometimes you'll see these people that are calling other people snowflakes and everything, but then the minute somebody says something they don't like, they get butthurt, but they're like patriots or something.
See, this is what you should have done on Jerry Springer's show, is you get pissed off about artists and sharing their political stuff.
Right.
That would have made for a good show.
But that's just a pet peeve of mine. When I see stuff like, I don't care, you could be Charlie Daniels and you could be for Trump. You could be Bruce Springsteen. You could be for that. You could be Clint Eastwood. Nobody put Clint Eastwood down when he did that thing, standing there talking to the chair. Right? Did anybody sit there and say, oh, Hollywood, keep your mouth shut. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Because he was saying what they liked, then he's okay. Oh, he could say all he wants. Clint Eastwood's the man. I just don't get that.
Right.
I just don't get that. It's America. Everybody should be able to say what they say. And if, for instance, I was against what Clint Eastwood was saying, would I stop watching his movies? Are you kidding me? Never. And I just don't see, I don't get that mindset. And that's probably the biggest pet peeve that I have right now. And it's not endorsing this candidate, that candidate, this philosophy, that philosophy, left, right, whatever, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. It's just focusing on the issue of who can say what and why it bothers you when certain people say something, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. And it's always been that way. Yep. It's always been that way.
Absolutely.
So, I just, that is just one of my pet peeves.
You're getting too heavy here now, so let's talk about sports or something. Are you happy that college football might make a return?
I like the Buckeyes.
Okay,
I like to see the Buckeyes.
Good.
I just miss the fans not being there. I think it just takes a lot away. Tribe, they're going to the playoffs, so the baseball, it's really crazy too without the fans. But I see now why they need preseason and spring training and everything, because all of that stuff gets you sucked in from the beginning.
Right.
It gets you interested right from the get-go. It starts with the draft, and then you start getting interesting. They make their trades. Whether it's baseball, spring training, who's looking good, who's not, this, that. And then it takes you 2 or 3 months to follow the team, to really get in the groove. So if you started spring training around February, and then by the time the season starts, you've already got 2-3 months invested in your team. And then when they keep on playing, then you at this point in time, you would be super Indians fan or super bummed out with the Pirates or whatever. Same with football. You didn't really get a chance to see any preseason. You need all that stuff to really get your interest rolling.
Right.
And
so do you think the World Series and the Super Bowl will count just like all the other, or history look at these like an asterisk, not a real season?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's even like, the Stanley Cup Championship is going on, and there's not like a lot of hype or excitement around that. Now, if you were following your team from October, the whole way through, 3 games a week, and this guy's hot, this guy's cold, this guy's hurt, you would have a lot more interest in it, and you would be reading the paper every single day for 3 months before this little half season even started. You would have been rooting for hockey from October till now, but now when did they start? They started in June, I think, and played this little abbreviated schedule and then went into the playoffs. I mean, come on, man, Stanley Cup. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well,
I mean, there's so many things predicated on it, like, eligibility in college sports. Does this count against somebody's eligibility or not? So I honestly think that they're going to skip this year. And even like the pros who opted out of contracts because they were scared to perform there.
Yeah.
I mean, did that contract still fit after the season? So it's going to be weird.
And you look at baseball, though. Did anybody get sick? Nobody's even testing positive anymore. No. Nothing like that. I miss going to the games. I miss the Scrappers not playing. I sure hope they bring the Scrappers back too. They can't. They can't just go away.
I agree.
They mean too much to the community. For people, it's such an affordable, fun night out for families, and a buck night on Thursdays is
they got pretty good crowds there too before this went down. I was impressed.
Oh yeah. So I hope, but Major League Baseball, they want to get away from that and just have all the low A players just go to their training complexes and train and do inter squads and things like that, instead of having them out and having to send the team to play in Batavia and sending them to play here.
But we would have never saw CC Sabathia come down here right down the road. That was amazing.
When you look at the list of Scrappers that have played for the Indians, it's a mile long, and that's what keeps people interested in your team, because you watch the Tribe and you go, I remember when that guy played the Scrappers. I was there that day, and I got an autograph. My kids got a ball signed by him. Nobody even knew who he was, and I got an autograph.
That's the farm team for Indians fans too.
Right, it's for the fans too. And when you look at some of these places where they play minor league baseball, they might be nowhere near a major league team. And that's the connection to their community to keep people interested in minor league baseball. They got to stay interested somehow. And so say you live somewhere in Iowa, where would you go to see a major league baseball game in Iowa? At least you got this team where they have the same deal where, okay, their equivalent to CC Sabathia played there. Their first round draft pick played here. Or we saw this guy, he was the Phillies draft pick, but when this team played there, we saw him, and it keeps people interested in baseball. And especially now with sports, it's like younger kids aren't really interested in it. So you got to keep it going to get them out there. It's more than just a training program for young up and coming players. It's a promotions tool and an advertising tool, and that's to keep people interested in the game.
And it gives some of these cities a venue that it's scaled down, it's affordable, it's something you can go to that's not a MLB game. So I honestly, I think you're right. It's important for the fans, the communities that they're hosted in, and for the
game in general, and the well-being in the game. Okay, so you take the kids out there, you spend a $2 ticket. Maybe you drop, you could probably go there and maybe even drop $30 with a couple of kids to the Scrappers.
Yeah,
maybe
so
40 $40. Okay, you go to the Tribe game, even the cheap seats are $30 if you want a fairly decent seat. Although they have some other, that porch, and there's some other ways there that you could save some money.
But still, it's an hour away.
Right. So now you got gas, you got parking, you got, and then you're going to drop 200, maybe more to go to one game if you got a couple of kids, where here they still get the love of baseball. They're probably going to get an autograph. Chances are they're going to get a ball. Somebody's going to toss them a ball into the stadium, and all that stuff keeps them interested and gives them a love for baseball. They get some baseball cards and they got this guy's picture on it. And then, especially with the scrappers, when you get somebody like Michael Brantley or whoever had to come down and rehab for a few games, it was on the injured list. So now you see those guys, and those guys would pack the stadium.
Yep.
You do a CC Sabathia bobblehead, you're going to pack the stadium because people want the bobblehead. You could do a Lindor. I think they did a Frankie Lindor bobblehead. Okay, so the ticket's $3. You're showing up if you're going to get that. You're going to get that bobblehead if you're one of the first 2,000 people there. And so it just keeps everybody engaged in the game and keeps everybody happy. And
can I tell you a scrapper's story?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was early on. Took my wife there on a date. This is way early on, and this is probably about the era with CC Sabathia. But anyway, we're sitting there watching this game, and we hear this heckler behind us, right? And they're just screaming down there. And I look around, and here's my cousin Hogs dressed up in his scrapper's heckling garb, and I'm like, there's a guy behind us. I think it's my cousin.
Oh, we did a lot with Hogs. Voodoo Man. He was the Voodoo Man.
Yes, and he was so good at heckling.
And that's when Victor Martinez was just a rookie.
Okay.
And Victor Martinez was a big fan of Voodoo Man. Oh, Victor loved Voodoo Man. Hogs was a little disappointed that they didn't embrace Voodoo Man a little more and take him to the next level. They really should have.
Absolutely.
Voodoo Man was great. Slap him in the face, Vic. Punch him in the mouth, Vic. He'd say stuff like that. He was the best heckler.
Classic.
And he had that thing on. Oh, yeah. But see, you get people excited about that. Yeah. I remember one of the first times I went to minor league baseball was down in Florida, because we'd always go down there to visit. And that was a cheap thing to do with the kids too. Go to go down to see the Phillies. Clearwater area, you had the Phillies, you had the Cardinals, you had the Blue Jays. You had like 3 or 4 teams that you could choose from. So you can go to a different game every night and drop a couple of bucks. The kids would get a ball. But down there, they'd have like 500 fans, and it's just something to do to kill time.
Yeah,
really.
right.
And have a couple beers. And I remember this one Phillies game, they had this guy there, and he was like the super fan heckler, and every guy that would come up to bat, he would make some kind of a rhyme, and he would be like, pat with the big bat, pat with the big bat.
It's a special skill to get in their heads like that. That's amazing.
And it was just so much fun. It was a blast to do that, and I just hope the scrappers stay.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you ready to get on out of here?
Yeah, Morris Ray's, we'll wrap it up. Might as well. Okay. Oh, coming up on Thursday, let me run down some of the stuff that we have. Coming up on Thursday, Bertram D'Souza is going to be here, former Vindicator columnist, and he has a new book out with all his columns that he wrote, and I think that's going to be pretty good. We're not going to go the political route so much on that, but I think when you read all these stories, it'll give you a good history of the city of Youngstown over the last 40 years of the scandals and politicians that maybe they, had a bone to pick with, and scandals, and this guy going to jail, and who they didn't like or what they thought was crazy, and who was involved in this mob. I'm sure trafficking will be mentioned, and a lot of other people. So I think it's going to be I can't wait to see the book. I think it's going to be very interesting from a history of Youngstown standpoint. So it's not going to be political, but it's going to be dealing with a lot of stuff that happened politically here in Youngstown. So I think that's going to be pretty good. And then coming up in a few weeks, we got a lot of different people. We got a good slate of guests. So hopefully this went okay today. And we'll try it again on Thursday with Bertram. That's going to be a good show. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook and everything, Youngstown Studio. Follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms. And we're out there. And we'll see you on Thursday.